several years back, as I'm kind of contemplating my life, I come to realize I kind of like my life. I got a pretty good life, especially if you consider where I came from. I'm doing the things I do. I've got time to enjoy some hobbies. I like the vacations that I go on. I kind of enjoy my work. I'm comfortable. I'm relaxed. I'm happy. But if anything happens, I'm working at an investment firm, and a lot of my colleagues shop at expensive retailers. I don't. But I noticed myself starting shopping at Joseph A. Bank, for example. Now they shop at Brooks Brothers. That's not me. But I do increase from Kohl's to Joseph A. Bank. I'm not quite them, I tell myself, right? I'll just settle for here. It gives me the story. The story that I tell myself is that I'm still frugal, right? Because I didn't go all the way up there. My boss takes several vacations a year, including Napa Valley. He goes to Florida. He goes to Europe. He goes to New York. He goes to Austin. All over the place. And remember, I like camping. But I noticed myself starting to spend a little bit more on vacations. I like my car. But my car is kind of creeping up on 10 years old. It still works just fine. But I've always kind of seen myself in a black sedan, leather interior with a sunroof. All the people at work have fancy European vehicles. I don't need that, I tell myself. But I do need to get a new car. And then I justify it. Right? The dog fur gets in the cloth seats. That's why I need leather. The sunroof would make it much more comfortable. I wouldn't have to use the air. I'd get better gas mileage. These are the stories that I tell myself. So I had a pretty good life. I was comfortable with it. But I still fell for something called lifestyle creep. Learn why that's a bad thing right after this. Hey, greetings. Derek Hagan here, financial therapist. Welcome to this week's Money Health presentation. Today we're going to talk about avoiding lifestyle creep and why you should avoid lifestyle creep. So, lifestyle creep. Let's think about why that might be bad for a second. So, lifestyle creep is when the cost of your lifestyle kind of creeps up. Now, I want to make it clear, and we'll talk about this later, that increasing your lifestyle isn't necessarily wrong. That's not what we're talking about here. Consciously increasing your lifestyle is fine, as long as it's within your means, as long as you can afford it, as long as you're balancing present needs and future needs. There's nothing wrong with that. Lifestyle creep refers to accidentally increasing your lifestyle. Right? That's where that creep part comes in. It creeps up without us really knowing because of external forces. And so this is kind of a little demonstration why this might be a bad thing. If this bar represents your income, that's all the money that you have coming in, and then there's kind of a little line here that we can slide this way or this way. Now spending I'm including both spending on things and experiences, giving, charitable donations, philanthropy, helping other people out, and taxes. So basically spending is money leaves you, it goes away. Savings is you keep money for yourself. Now, if you slide this spending over this way, that savings gets a lot smaller. If you can bring spending down, savings gets a lot bigger. Now, that's important because savings, growing that savings rate, that is the proportion of this bar, that is savings, growing the portion of savings buys you a lot of flexibility in the future. I'll say that again. Increasing your savings rate buys you a lot of flexibility in the future. That might mean retiring sooner. That's the kind of the traditional way to think about it. That might mean giving you the flexibility to leave a job you don't like and take a more passion job. That might mean starting a company. It doesn't matter. It buys you flexibility. It buys you options. Now, if you've been following me for any time, you know that we are bad at looking at future us. That's just not something we're wired for. Nature didn't give that to us. So what happens then, when we start making more money, we start spending more and more and more and more. So as we make more money, this is where it's harder to demonstrate. As we make more money, this bar would get bigger, right? This bar would grow. But if we like our lifestyle, the actual spending dollars, with taxes would go up a little bit, but for the most part, income grows, spending should stay the same, and then the savings would grow. But that doesn't happen, though, does it? Because we spend more as we make more. We think that we have to. Let's look a little bit at what that looks like. This is kind of a graph. So over here, this is kind of lifestyle creep defined. This is what our current lifestyle costs. And over time, that could stay the same. We're taking out inflation, so this would be real dollars. So in today's dollars, the cost of your lifestyle is the cost of your lifestyle. And as your income grows, you'll see these big jumps are probably promotions, the smaller jumps are probably raises. As that income grows, all of this should be blue. If you are happy with this lifestyle, all of this should be savings. And the more savings you have, the more you can do in the future. But it's not all blue, is it? Because we start to spend a little bit more and it just kind of creeps up a little bit on us. That's lifestyle creep. That red stuff, that's lifestyle creep. You might be asking, I know this is a problem. It seems reasonable, but why does it happen? Several reasons. All these floating in our below conscious awareness. The most obvious one, you got the Joneses here, so keeping up with the Joneses. Now, nobody does this intentionally. Let's get that out of the way. Nobody says, I shouldn't say nobody. Few people say, those guys just got a new car, I need to get a new car. Or I need to one-up them. Trying to be the Joneses. That's the thing, too. That's a whole separate issue, but if people in our neighborhood, if people at our job, if people in our circles start getting new and better things, we will naturally start to want new and better things. By no fault of our own. That's just how it happens. Alternatively, a lot of us have a belief that more things, houses, cars, vacations, will bring more happiness. But as we know, if you're not happy without the stuff, you're not going to be happy with the stuff. With some exceptions, poverty level stuff, there is some exceptions there. But once you reach a certain level, that stuff's not going to bring happiness. What about you deserve it? So remember, those bigger spikes in that income, those are probably promotions. If you were working really hard to get those promotions, there's a tendency for us to say, well, I deserve it. I deserve it. So I'm going to spend a little bit more. Another big thing. So if we get in this habit of chasing the next thing, chasing the next promotion so that we can upgrade our lifestyle, we're never going to be happy. Because we're not happy with the process. We're only happy with the goal that's in front of us, and we're never going to be happy with that fleeting little thing. So that's why it happens. And I want to make clear, though, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but increasing your lifestyle isn't necessarily bad if you do it with conscious awareness. If you do it and it's within your means, there's nothing wrong with increasing your lifestyle. But I want you to do that on purpose. I want you to do that with purpose. Okay, so this is an example. It's hard to get all the nuance into one chart, so there are going to be some things that don't make sense. But if this is your current lifestyle, but you really want this lifestyle up here, right now you can't afford it because your income, this income line, is exactly your current lifestyle. So this means that you're spending every dollar that you have. You're not saving anything, even though you wished you were up here. Now there's another thing that we can talk about, and that is learn to be happy with what you have. And then you're not going to have this desired lifestyle up here. But if I knew that, or if I was more aware of what I wanted, we'll talk about this a little bit later, I wouldn't have had to go buy more expensive clothes and a brand new car and go on more expensive vacations, because I would have been happy with what I had. So desiring less is one of the tickets to happiness. But let's say that's not the case. Let's say that we need to get up here. Maybe maybe we're just in a bad neighborhood. Maybe we do need to get up here or something, right? So as income rises, we're still spending everything that we have until we get to that desired lifestyle, right? So over here, this zone, this is the desire zone. This is just, I wish I was there. And then once we get there, we save it all. Hopefully. Now, lifestyle creep might inch in there, but in a perfect world, this is how that would look. This is just to say it is possible to increase your lifestyle, but do it intentionally. What happens, though, if we want that lifestyle and we spend to get a lifestyle that's outside of our means? So this is the part of the talk where I say stay within your means. Because if this is our current and desired lifestyle, this is where we want to be, right? But we only make this, then this is debt. This is a negative savings rate. This is very common. This is people that need their credit cards to live. Very common. People that rely on that home equity loan. Again, this is not shame or blame. This is just facts. This happens very commonly. So living outside of your means, living beyond your means that not only are you not saving, but you're digging yourself into a hole. Right? So now, once you get to that place where your income does hit your lifestyle creep still kicks in. So even once you get there, right, you were good to keep your lifestyle here, then you started making more than that, and you're like, well, I'm not going to save all of it. I deserve it. Right? This is the I deserve it zone. So these savings, you have to get up enough of these savings to pay off this debt. So you have to stay within your means. And now you might be thinking, okay, great. So that's all the problems. What are we supposed to do about it? Well, focus on what you want. Focus on who you want to be and get clear about what's important to you. What kind of life do you want? What do you want out of life? You get a few dozen trips around the sun. How do you want to spend that time? What's important to you? And how can you use your money to support that life? That's where you should focus. What your neighbors are doing, what your friends are doing, what your colleagues are doing, that doesn't matter. That's really none of your business, is it? And I'm to blame, right? I was the one that started spending more because they have more expensive clothes than me. They go on better vacations than me. Better meaning more expensive, not necessarily better in quality. They have better cars. I kind of, my awareness, my focus left. I was not focusing here. I was focusing here. But that's really none of my business. So being able to realize what is important to you, what do you want out of life, and how do you align your use of money with what's important to you? What habits can you create? What kind of persona do you want to take on? That's where the sweet spot is. What other people doing, that's none of your business. And if you can do this and avoid lifestyle creep and increase your lifestyle only with intention, that's good money.